Hello, hello, and welcome. Welcome to our COVID-19 Minute Clinic. I don't know if you joined us on Monday as well. We're doing these clinics Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific Time, 12 o'clock Eastern Time. We're doing that for the month of May. So Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 9 a.m. for the month of May. So I want to welcome you here to our call here today. Today we're going to be helping people that are dealing with stress or anxiety, fear, worry, whatever emotions or thoughts that they have around, or extreme emotions or thoughts that they have around this COVID-19. We're doing sessions here today in our Minute Clinic for volunteers that like to share what they're feeling or thinking in regards to COVID-19. And so I'll be working on people on this particular program here, and we'll be deleting any emotions or thoughts that we have that are affecting us. And these emotions can affect us physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So it's important to deal with your stress around here. And one of the ways to deal with the stress is through using the Emotion Code program. The Emotion Code program was developed by Dr. Bradley Nelson here. He's a holistic chiropractor from the States. Many years ago, he was working with his clients, and he was finding some clients were coming in with certain issues, and they weren't always getting resolved. Most of the times he would get pretty good results. But what he started to realize when certain people were coming in with chronic conditions, that maybe there was something else going on underneath there besides physical problems. So that's when he started to explore Eastern medicine as well, and looked at the organs and the glands and emotions and how all of that tied together to our muscles and our joints and our physical parts of our body. So he started to, through muscle testing and prayer, he was able to come up with a program which he titled the Emotion Code. And this program was designed to release this emotional baggage that you or I may be carrying, maybe from past traumatic events, maybe from negative experiences in our life. Maybe it's from things that we've learned from the past, maybe from our family, maybe from our friends. Certain negative emotions that we carry that impact our health, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, and spiritually as well. So if you just joined us today here, welcome. We're doing our COVID-19 Minute Clinic. So this is for people that have extreme emotions or feelings or thoughts around COVID-19, how it's impacting you, how perhaps it's impacting your family, maybe even your friends. This is a very challenging time for all of us, and I know that, I know myself, I've been through stages now through all this of feeling some anxiety or some fear around what was happening in regards to my health, in regards to the health of my family, and also in regards to the health of my financial health, because all of this is having an impact on us in so many different ways. So if you just joined us today here, welcome for our COVID-19 Minute Clinic. I'm looking for 2 volunteers today that I can work on at a distance. It's called proxy work, and help to delete maybe any negative thoughts, emotions, or feelings that you have that are related to COVID-19. Again, we'll be using the Emotion Code program, which was developed by Dr. Bradley Nelson. I got the book, actually, it was in 2007. I got the original book. This is the updated version. As you see here, forward here with Tony Robbins and Greg Braden. If you know these people, they highly recommend this work. This is known as energy medicine, energy psychology, also known as bioenergetics. And the reason why we call it bioenergetics is simply because we're using the body, the physical body, to talk to the subconscious mind so that we can locate or identify these emotions that may be caught up in our energy field. And we're using what we call an emotion code chart here. There's 60 different emotions on here, two different columns, column A and column B. And in each section, there's 5 different emotions. And I don't know if you'll notice some of the emotions here. For example, in row number 1, those emotions are tied into, can affect our heart or our small intestine. So things like heartache and insecurity and feeling forlorn, they can impact our heart and our small intestine and cause digestive problems, heart issues as well. So every one of these emotions are vibrating at their own frequency. And that frequency is set up in our energy field and causes all kinds of issues. We also have in row 2 here, we have the spleen stomach. For some people, I know this is all showing up as backwards here, but that's how it is on Facebook right now. I will be getting some reverse cards done here. But yeah, so basically these emotions impact us in so many different ways. And if you're feeling some stress related to COVID-19, again, whether it's personal stress, whether it's to do with your family, whether it's to do with your job or your work, financial stress, whatever it is, it's having an impact on you. And I'm here in my Minute Clinic here to help people delete some of these negative emotions so they can maybe feel a little bit happier, a little bit lighter. So I'm looking for volunteers today. So if you're just joined us on the call, yeah, put your name in here, where you're from. And as far as volunteers, I'm looking for a couple different criteria. Number 1, I need you to write the emotions, whether it's fear, anxiety, or thoughts that you're feeling around COVID-19. Number 2, I need to know the severity of these thoughts or emotions. For example, is your anxiety on a scale of 1 to 10? Is it a 10 out of 10? That's very severe. Or is it a 5 out of 10? And then I need your permission to actually do some work on you. That's very important. We don't work on people without their permission. Even if you have a child, that we're working on your children, once they turn 18, they're considered an adult, so we need permission to work on them as well. So welcome if you just joined us again, our COVID-19 Minute Clinic. I'll be doing this on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for the month of May at 9 a.m. Pacific and 12 noon Eastern Time. So be sure to tag your friends on this. So my name is John Schlapbach. I'm a certified body code and emotion code practitioner, a wellness consultant for many, many years as well, and an energy medicine specialist. I began my journey into holistic health, and actually it was in 1969. I started reading ingredients for food labels. Anyone here do that? Read those food labels now? Well, I started doing that in 69. I don't know why I actually did it, but I just started doing it. And that launched me into my adventure into holistic health. And after that, I got involved with nutrition. I started to study nutrition and herbs. And then I started looking into things like reflexology, shiatsu, many different types of massage as well. I was very, very interested in finding out about the body and how it worked and why it worked. And I went on to become a registered massage therapist. So here in British Columbia, Canada, an RMT is a medical massage therapist. So we worked within the medical system. Most of our clients were doctor referrals in the beginning here. And so that's how I started working more and more with the body. So over almost 30 years now of helping thousands of people with my massage therapy, I was always looking for new and different ways to help my patients. So when I came across the emotion code, I thought this is maybe something that I could apply to my practice, and I started using it along with my massage therapy. And my results at the time was close to 90% for most of my patients. I really worked hard to help them. And after doing the emotion code, my results went up a bit further because we found that some of these emotions were caught up in our body. So anger, for example, can affect your liver and your gallbladder, and your liver, gallbladder. Your gallbladder is a major cause of pain in your right knee. And the liver can cause shoulder problems and other problems in our body. So when we have these emotions caught up in our energy fields, what happens is it has a negative effect on our overall health and well-being. For example, trapped emotions can also lower our immune system. So over the last number of weeks, I've been helping people to test their immune systems for functioning ability and trying to raise the vibration of their immune systems. And most of the time, it's trapped emotions or negative emotions that are causing our immune systems to be less effective. So welcome if you're joining us here today. We're doing our COVID-19 Minute Clinic for people that are experiencing any extreme emotions or thoughts or feelings around the COVID-19, whether it's affecting you, it's affecting your family, your friends, your neighbors, relatives, whatever. I'm here to help people identify some of those emotions using the emotion code and our emotion code chart here. And we're going to identify those emotions and delete those emotions for you. So I'm looking for volunteers here today. And with our volunteers, we're going to ask a few different things. Number one, you basically give us the emotion or feelings or thoughts that you are feeling around COVID-19 and how it's impacting you. And also the severity of those thoughts or emotions or feelings. On a scale of 0 to 10, 10 is very severe. So if I was dealing with anxiety or worry or nervousness around COVID-19 and I was around a 6 or 7 or 8 out of 10, that is huge, and that's having a huge impact on you. It's not only affecting your physical health, but it's affecting how you think, what you do, how you behave. And a lot of this is based on our emotional experiences. So we're asking you to volunteer today. I'm looking for 2 volunteers. We also need your permission. So in order to work on you first, we need your permission. It's very important. We have your permission. We just don't work on anyone at any time. That's part of our being a certified practitioner. Having permission is extremely important. And then after we've done a session on you, we ask that you give it a minute or so and then update us to how you're doing, so that we can share that with some of our other listeners here. So let's talk a little bit about the process here. I use a 7-step process, and then sometimes I will actually do an 8-step process, and that's where I'm bringing in the body code. And today's particular session, we're working with the emotion code. The emotion code, again, is basically at least 80 to 100, sometimes 100% of our physical health or mental, emotional health is based on these trapped emotions or unprocessed emotions that get in our energy field, and they create distortions. So imagine if you had 10 different emotions caught up in your neck area about the size of an orange or a grapefruit pushing up against your neck. Would that cause some neck problems? Absolutely. So not only do these emotions cause physical problems, but they affect us, again, in the way we think, how we act, how we behave, how we respond in situations. Some of these emotions may have gone back to when we were very young, some traumas that we've had in our life, and we're still carrying some of that in our energy field. So it's definitely having an impact on us. Some of these may be just recent emotions. When we have something like COVID-19 going on, quite often what happens is these types of crises, our body can go into crisis management as well. And when that happens, our whole immune system can be affected. And we want to keep your immune system happy and healthy so that you can deal with all of these things. And the other thing that happens quite often is when we go through these types of issues, perhaps let's say you had a back problem that you had 10 years ago, and now all of a sudden you're dealing with stress to do with COVID-19, and now you're noticing that your back is feeling worse and worse or flaring up. And a lot of that, these are trapped emotions or unprocessed emotions that we have in our energy field, and these emotions impact us in so many different ways. So again, if you just joined us, we're doing our COVID-19 Minute Clinic. We're looking for 2 volunteers, just 2 volunteers. So if you'd like to volunteer, just put your name in there, give us the emotion or thoughts or feelings that you might be feeling or experiencing around COVID-19. And we are going to use the emotion code and our emotion code chart here. We're going to use that and muscle testing to help to identify and release or delete these emotions for you so you can feel a little better, a little happier, a little healthier. So I'm just going to have a look here, see who's watching here. Yes, here we go. So, and also if you'd like to have your immune system tested as well, just to see how well it's functioning, that's what we call, that's part of the body code program. We can do that for you as well and get that immune system boosted up for you. And most of the time, these trapped emotions can affect our immune system and lower our immunity. So if you're dealing with a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, maybe worry, some anger, maybe some depression, it's going to impact your immune system, and that makes you more susceptible to all these different bugs and things that come around. And when we're in that state of allowing those things into our system, what happens, they can take hold, and sometimes they can be there for a long time. So we find people sometimes, you may have heard of this, or sometimes people will say, every fall I get a cold. You ever heard people say that before? Well, really what they're doing there is they're programming their system so that every fall they're going to get a cold. So again, this is a thought that they're having. This is an emotion that they're having or feeling. This is a vibration. And whatever you're vibrating at is what you attract to yourself. So if you're vibrating at a low vibration, you're going to attract a lot of low vibrational energies to you. So releasing these trapped emotions or unprocessed emotions will help you to not only boost your immune system, but allow your body to function better and allow your body to heal like it was naturally designed to do. The Center for Disease Control states that at least 80% of all diseases have an emotional component. So that's why we're here as emotion code practitioners, to identify these emotions and release them for you. So we're looking for 2 volunteers here today that have some negative thoughts or feelings around COVID-19. We need a few different things. Number one, the thought or the feeling or the emotions that you're feeling around COVID-19. Number 2, the severity of those issues. 0 to 10, 10 is very severe. So if you're dealing with a 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 out of 10 with these emotions, they're having a huge negative impact, not only on your immune system, but can cause many, many other problems. And we need your permission to do the work. Give us your permission, that's very important. And if you have a child that you'd like us to work on, once they turn 18, we need their permission. So if you have a child that's under 18, and you'd like us to work on your child as well, maybe you're noticing they're having some stress or some anxiety around COVID-19, we can do that as well. All we need is the permission again. So if you want to give us that, then we'll be able to do a few sessions for you. On our last COVID-19, on Monday, I was working on a few people, and one of the ladies was mentioning that she was feeling some depression around COVID-19, and it was really having an impact on her. She's having to be isolated a lot at home, and I know for some of you that's very difficult, being isolated at home or being away from your family. So she's dealing with some depression related to this. And what we found was, for these emotions, we found actually 3 different emotions around this. There was resentment, depression, and there was feeling unsupported on some level. And unsupported actually is a very, very common emotion we find a lot with women. I work with a lot of women, and I have for many years, and that's a very common emotion. So hers was at a 10 out of 10 for severity. So using the emotion code and using the muscle testing, and I'll just basically show you how that works, the muscle testing. Muscle testing was first developed in the 70s. Dr. John Diamond was one of the originators of muscle testing, although it's been around for a lot of years. I started muscle testing in the later 70s for nutritional supplements. And I would test the different supplements and see if they were good or not for me. And I used muscle testing. And muscle testing is also known as applied kinesiology, or it's also known as muscle response testing. There's a recent study that came out of Oxford that was showing how muscle testing is as accurate, if not more accurate, than most of our medical tests. Why? Because we are talking directly to your subconscious mind through your body, through muscle testing. So when we muscle test, I use a ring and ring. There's lots of different muscle tests you can use. I use ring and ring, the way we make two little rings here with our fingers. I don't know if you can see that. And we're looking basically for a yes or a no answer. So a yes would be like with some resistance. A strong response would be like a yes. A no would be like a weak response. So that would be a yes or a no. So when we're talking to your subconscious mind about COVID-19 and any of these emotions you're feeling or thoughts you're feeling, and we're asking your subconscious mind through muscle testing, is it anger? Is it fear? Is it frustration? Whatever, is it feeling overwhelmed? Whatever it is, through the muscle testing and using our chart, we're going to identify which emotions are involved and delete them for you within a minute or two at the most. So the muscle testing, again, has been around for years, and the other part of doing the emotion code is, of course, beside the emotion code chart, is doing what we call proxy, and that's what we're doing here today. We're doing what's called proxy work. Proxy work means distant healing work. Or in this case, I can move my subconscious out of the way, connect to your subconscious, and then when I'm doing the muscle testing, I am testing your subconscious to see what we can find, and we're asking yes or no questions. And the other part of it is, again, severity, knowing the severity, if it was back pain or shoulder pain or depression or anger, resentment. We need to know the severity of that so that when we do the work, we want to see if it's an 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, we want to see it come down. And I like to get things down to a 0 whenever I can for you. And sometimes we can do that very quickly for you. And then the other part, of course, is besides permission, we use a magnet. And why do we use a magnet for releasing or deleting these emotions? Because a magnet is a pure form of energy. And we are magnetic and light beings, and without magnetism or magnetic energy, we wouldn't exist. So we use a magnet. I'm using these Nikan magnets here. Why? Because they're balanced with the Earth's magnetic field. You can actually just use your hand as well. It's magnetic as well. You can use even our magnetic chart or a fridge magnet. And the main thing is what we want to do is we run that magnet down what we call the central governing meridian. And that central governing meridian is connected to your whole body, to all the systems of your body. It runs, again, from between your eyes, go down right down the center, right to the base of your spine. It's like a loop. And that central governing meridian, again, connects to everything, your whole system. So when we're using that along the central governing to delete these emotions or negative thoughts or beliefs, we are affecting your whole system. So again, we're working through your body to access your subconscious mind. Another aspect is to be well hydrated. It's very important to be well hydrated while we're doing the work. And I'm just going to have a little sip of water here now. And I drink structured water because it's highly absorbable. Some of you may have heard of that before. So again, on our last session, we were working with this lady who had resentment and feeling unsupported and depression around COVID-19. It was a 10 out of 10 for severity. We released all those emotions for her. It only took a few minutes, and her severity went down to a 0. She said she was feeling much, much lighter, much better afterwards. And we did a little test for her, did a little additional thing I threw in there with the body code. we tested her immune system functioning before we did the work. And what we found, her immune system was functioning at 65%. Now, for some of you, 65% might sound pretty good. But if it was my immune system, I would like it to be running much, much higher than that. 65% is not good enough for me. So after we did the work for her, and it only took a few minutes, and we retested her immune system, it was running at 95%. So she was a happy camper. There's another lady that was on there dealing with some grief around just not being able to see family members or get together with family or friends or travel to visit family or friends. And I know it can be a time of feeling very isolated and very alone sometimes. And when you can't connect with your own family, sometimes it can be difficult. So there was a lot of feelings or emotions around this for this lady. I think it was a 9 out of 10, the severity. We found 4 different emotions there that we released. Anxiety was one of them. Resentment, grief, and wishy-washy were the emotions we identified. We released those for her. It just took a couple of minutes. And then we actually found what are called a couple of what we call trauma energies. And trauma energies, this is our trauma energy list. And I know it's backwards for you guys, but the trauma energy chart is another thing that we use a lot with the emotion code, because that's another form of imbalance. So besides the trapped emotions around processed emotions, we can have these trauma energies. And we found a couple of trauma energies for her also in regards to the COVID-19. One of them was feeling disappointment on some level, you know, not being able to see your family, to get close to them. Another one was hurt feelings around all of this. So we released all of these emotions. We released the trauma energies. It only took a few minutes to do all of this. And her severity was a 9 out of 10. We got it down to a 0. She mentioned afterwards that she was feeling a little bit better for sure, felt a bit more relaxed. So again, welcome if you just joined us. We're doing our COVID-19 minute clinic here. I'm John Schlapbach. I'm here from Kelowna, British Columbia, in the interior of British Columbia, about 300 miles in from the coast. It's known as the Four Seasons Playground. Semi-arid here. It's an 80-mile lake here where I live, so it's beautiful. It's also called Canada's California as well. We have peaches and pears and apples and all kinds of fruit, as well as a huge wine industry here. So you got to come and visit us here in the Okanagan. So like I said, I'm a certified emotion code, body code practitioner. Been working with holistic health. Started in 1969. My venture into holistic health. Also, I have a medical background here as a medical therapist. So I like to be able to bridge that gap for my clients between the medical and the holistic. Sometimes I do that for them. And so I wanted to give back with this COVID-19. So I thought, what could I do? So that's why I decided to do these free COVID-19 minute clinics here. For anyone who's dealing with any type of stress, emotions, or negative thoughts to do with COVID-19, I'd like to be able to help you. So all I need from you is I need 2 volunteers. I need your name, where you're from. I need the severity of your emotions or thoughts or feelings around COVID-19. I need your permission to do the work. And I also need for you, after we do a session, I appreciate if you wait a minute or so and give me a little update as to how you're feeling. So if you go to my website, visionshealing.com, you can get some more information if you want to learn a little bit more about the emotion code or body code. And on my website also, you're going to see a menu there. This is what I call, this is my session menu here. It's a free download off of my Visions Healing website. And I'll just share a couple of things on here. These are some of the things I've been able to help with people with over the years using the emotion code, body code. Things like aching wrists, fingers, and hands, knee pain or discomfort, shoulder pain, back pain, feeling anxious in public, money blocks, love blocks, health blocks, panic attacks, procrastination, that's a big one, creative insecurity, past old negative memories, digestive issues, constipation, sadness, restless legs. There's so many things on this list. It's amazing. But the emotion code has been able to help with all of those different areas for people. So yeah, feel free to go on to my visionshealing.com and download a free copy of my menu there. So you see what's possible. But today we're focusing on COVID-19, any negative thoughts, feelings, or emotions you may have around that. We're looking for 2 volunteers here. And so if you'd like to volunteer, have a session done, just give us the severity again of this issue, the thoughts, negative thoughts or feeling, and I will delete them for you within a minute or 2. And again, I'm going to use my magnet with intention on the central governing meridian to help to release that negative emotions for you. So when we're dealing with these emotions, the interesting thing is that every emotion vibrates at its own frequency. So fear, for example, is a different vibration than anger, which is a different vibration than depression, which is a different vibration than shock or pride or feeling overwhelmed. Every emotion vibrates at its own individual frequency, and these frequencies are things that this vibration attracts things to us. So if I'm vibrating at a lot of depression, for example, I'm feeling a lot of depression, I'm thinking about depression, maybe I'm depressed about COVID-19 and all the impacts on me or my family, then part of my energy field is vibrating at that frequency. And of course that lowers our vibration. And when our vibration gets lowered, it also lowers our immune system. And when our immune system is lowered, then we are more susceptible to these types of things that come around. So we want to keep our immune system boosted. So as a little bonus here today, for those of you that like to have your immune system checked, just let me know. Just give me a little message here that you'd like to have your immune system functioning checked, and I'll just check that for you if you like. And that's using the body code. Again, the emotion code is when we're just focusing on the emotions, which is where we spend most of our time anyways, because at least 80% of the time what's going on with you with your physical health or mental or emotional health or relationships or work or success or money blocks, most of these things are caused from these unprocessed or trapped emotions, and they get caught up in our energy field. And again, these vibrations cause all kinds of problems. So we have someone here, Sharon is here. And Sharon, hi Sharon, how are you today? And where are you from, Sharon? And you would like us to check something for you. Was that your immune system or was that for COVID-19? Just give us some clarity on that. We'll wait for her messages to come through here. So yeah, so we're going to use muscle testing again. We're going to use permission. We're going to access your subconscious mind and ask those yes or no questions. So Sharon is from Cape Town. Well, welcome here from Cape Town, Sharon. So we're going to, with your permission here, Sharon, I'm going to access your subconscious here in just a minute. And we're going to check your immune system for functioning. Okay, so now that I have your permission, Sharon, I have to test myself first. Before I work on you, I need to make sure I'm well hydrated as well, and you should be well hydrated. So I'm going to say my name is John. Yes, my name is Bob. No. Am I ready to be tested? Yes, I am. Am I hydrated enough here to work on someone? Actually, no, I'm not. So again, we're just going to have a little sip of water here. Drinking water really helps. It helps to process the emotions. It helps to flush toxins out of our body. So when we release these emotions, sometimes it creates some toxicity that needs to be released. So the water not only helps to flush it out of the body and process the emotions, but it also helps our body just to function overall. So I have your permission then, Sharon. So can I act as a proxy then for Sharon? Yes, I can. Do I have a good connection with Sharon P? Yes, I do. My name is Sharon. Yes, my name is John. No. So am I Sharon? Yes. So now we're connected, Sharon, energetically. So I'm going to ask, can we check, Sharon, to see what percentage is your immune system functioning at here, Sharon? I'm getting a yes. So is it functioning over 10%, over 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90? 80, 81, 82, 83. It's running at 84% right now here, Sharon. So we like to get a little bit higher if we can for you. I mean, that's certainly 84% is better than 74%. But I'm going to ask, is there a reason for you, Sharon, why your immune system is only functioning at 84%? We're getting a yes for you on this. So is it emotional? Yes. So how many emotions are we talking about here for you, Sharon? There's actually 2 emotions that are impacting your immune system. Again, we're going to use our emotion code chart to identify these emotions. So I'm going to ask, are any of them in column A? Yes. Are they actually both in column A? Yeah, they're both in column A. So which row are they in? Row number 1, number 2, row number 3. That's your lung colon. Is that crying? There's some discouragement, rejection. There's some sadness there. And this is actually in the lung colon row, Sharon. So the lung colon row, any of these emotions can impact your lungs or the functioning of your lungs, your ability to breathe. It can also impact your colon, which is important to your whole digestive system, and also can cause shoulder problems, all kinds of stuff. And also, especially with the COVID-19, because it has a huge effect on our lungs, we want to make sure that your lungs are happy. We want to keep your lungs happy. So sadness is one of the emotions. And what's the next one? Is it in column A? Yes. Which row? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Row 6. That's our glandular row here, Sharon. Row 6. So which one is it? Overwhelm. So what's impacting your immune system right now, Sharon, are 2 emotions. One is sadness and one is overwhelmed. And again, we said your immune system was running around 84%. So I'm going to ask, do we need to know more about these emotions in order to delete them here for you then, Sharon? Yeah, we need to know something else. I'm going to ask, can we release both of them at the same time? Actually, no. Usually that's not the case. We have to release one at a time. So do we need to release them one at a time? We're getting a yes for that. So what do we need to know before we can release them? Are any of these hidden emotions or shared emotions or absorbed emotions or prenatal, preconception emotions, vibrational resonance emotions or psychic trauma emotions of sadness and overwhelmed? And yeah, so there's also some psychic trauma emotions that are tied into this. And sadness and overwhelmed are 2 of the psychic trauma emotions tied in with this as well. So it's not just a trapped emotion. These are psychic trauma emotions as well for you, Sharon. So I'm going to put this in here. And overwhelmed. Yes, overwhelmed as well. Psychic trauma emotions are emotions when we feel more than one emotion simultaneously. They get all caught up in the same sphere. So each emotion is caught up in its own sphere of energy, but sometimes we can have more than one emotion in that sphere, and these are what we call psychic trauma emotions. So, do we need to know more in order to release this sadness and overwhelmed here for you then, Sharon? No, we don't. So let's release this sadness. We're going to release this sadness for you, and any hidden sadness, just in case. We're going to make some assumptions and shared sadness and absorbed sadness for you around this whole immune system functioning. And we're also going to release the psychic trauma energy of sadness as well. And we're also going to release overwhelmed now, and hidden overwhelmed, and shared overwhelmed, and absorbed overwhelmed, and vibrational resonances of overwhelmed, and psychic trauma energies of sadness and overwhelmed, and shock. as well. And take a breath on that one here, Sharon, for us. It's very important to breathe after each release. So, and even as a therapist, I'm working on you. I want to be breathing while I'm working on you and the release. So I'm going to ask, did it release that sadness for you? Yes. Did it release the overwhelm? Yes. Were they both released to 100% for you, Sharon? Yes, they were. So, and did it release those psychic trauma emotions for you of sadness and overwhelm? Yes, we did. Were they released to 100%? Yes. So now let me see here, Sharon. Now, what percentage is your immune system functioning at now? Is it functioning over 10%? 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100? It's running at 98% right now. So that's much better than 84%, Sharon. So if you'd like to wait a minute or so, also give us a little comment. Because remember, we release that emotion of sadness, which is through your body, throughout your energy field, and feeling overwhelmed. And there's some shock in there a little bit as well. And these were all your own emotions. You know, we didn't need to know. Sometimes we need to know how old you were when you trapped them in your energy field, what they were about. For example, you could trap an emotion when you were 3 and it shows up at 33 now as a shoulder problem or a digestive problem or whatever. So we didn't need to know that. So we're running at 98%. And am I still Sharon? Yeah, I'm still connected here to Sharon. So I'm going to ask your subconscious is good with 98%. It'll accept that 98%. So we're running at 98% now, much better than 84%. So yeah, just give us a comment here, Sharon, and let us know. Okay, we've got a little comment for her. She said she's feeling a little bit lightheaded. Now, that's very common. People are going to feel after. Again, we're dealing with baggage, right? And this baggage weighs us down. It's invisible. We don't even know it's there. And so when we release some of these emotions, quite often what we find, people will feel a little bit lighter. Sometimes they'll feel a little bit energized. Sometimes even a little tired. Sometimes their body is processing. So you're feeling a little bit lightheaded. And I'm still connected here with Sharon. Yeah, just to double check. Yeah, that's okay. That's just the processing of what we're doing here, Sharon. So that's what it is. That will pass. And we're going to ask you to drink lots of water because, again, we need water to process these emotions. So lots of water afterwards. And let's see how you're doing. So certainly 98% is much, much better than 84%. So again, we're doing COVID-19, thoughts, feelings, or emotions that you might be experiencing. We're looking to identify those using the emotion code on our emotion code chart here and delete these for you. So if you'd like to volunteer, I'm looking for one more volunteer. I need to know whatever your thoughts or feelings or emotions are around COVID-19, how they're impacting you, maybe your health, maybe your family, maybe your relationships. Maybe your work, maybe your finances, how they're impacting you. And we need to know the severity of that issue on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 is very severe. Once we're getting up over 5 or 6 or 7, it's starting to have much more of an impact. So, and just to make sure here, Sharon, I want to make sure, am I John? Yes, am I John? Am I Sharon? No. So, generally speaking, I've been doing this for many, many years, worked on hundreds and hundreds of people all over the world. And generally speaking, I want to make sure once we're done with our session that I'm disconnected to you. And am I Sharon? No. Am I John? Yes. So we make sure we're disconnected. And because I've done this thousands of times, most of the time I just automatically disconnect from that person. And if I'm feeling that maybe there is still a little bit of a connection, sometimes for you healers out there, you may get a sense that you're not quite balanced. It's always good to check yourself after you're working on someone to make sure that you're disconnected energetically from them. So I wanted to share a couple things with you as well. Because I've been doing this for so long, I've seen so many different situations where the emotion code has been of benefit. And again, everything from chronic pain to seasonal allergies to headaches to neck pain and back pain to feelings of depression or resentment, to people have gone through divorces or separations. You may know some people like that, and all the emotions that are tied in with that and how they're impacting you. And sometimes I've had to work on the children of parents that have gone through these divorces or separations, because they're impacted as well. So there's so many different ways you can use the emotion code, body code. And this is the one way, COVID-19, it's my way of giving back and helping people that are dealing with some stress around this. So if you'd like to volunteer, we have a few more minutes left. If you'd like to volunteer, just give us the emotion that you're feeling, the severity on a scale of 1 to 10, give us your permission, and then update us a minute or so later. And we'll do some work for you. It only takes a minute or two to identify and delete these negative emotions so you can feel a little happier, a little healthier, a little lighter, a little better. In some cases, we're working on one issue as well, and we get a result, another result that we weren't expecting. I'll give you an example here. Many years ago, I was working on a woman. What we were doing with her, we were working on what we call a heart wall. And that's an area where I specialized in when I first started doing this work, were heart walls. And what these are invisible walls we build up around our heart to protect ourselves from being hurt. And they're made up of trapped emotions. We could have anywhere from 2 or 3 emotions in there to over 50 emotions that we've accumulated from the time we were born or conceived, that we've accumulated over our lives. And these walls of emotions build up around our heart. And they affect our ability to give and receive love. They can cause depression. Pretty well anyone who's depressed certainly has heart walls, or their immune system is depressed. Sometimes there's a heart wall that's doing that. So I was working with this lady who had this heart wall, and she was engaged, and she was getting close to being married. And after her marriage, they were going to go from here, Canada, they were going to go to Florida for their honeymoon. And she wanted her heart wall released before she got married, which I thought that's great, because guess what? Anytime we're in a relationship or we're going into a new relationship, we're bringing our baggage with us from our past relationships. We're bringing it forward into our new relationships. So it's nice to get rid of that baggage. You have baggage you're bringing into it. They have baggage they're bringing into it. So whenever we can release this baggage, the relationships usually can go so much better. So she wanted her heart wall released, and at that time, it took on average 2 to 4 sessions to release a heart wall with most adults. Now I can do it usually within 10 minutes, sometimes or less. And anyways, she came back from her honeymoon, and it was a week or 2 later, she sent me an email, and she said, well, thank you, John, for doing that work on me. I really appreciate it. And by the way, she said, I had no problem getting on that plane and flying down to Florida, and then getting on that plane after our honeymoon and flying back home. She had phobia, and her phobia, she had a fear of flying. I didn't know that. She never said that to me at all. That wasn't something we were working on. But again, that shows you sometimes when you're working on one thing, we're working on our heart wall, but it was also having a positive impact in some other area of your life. So was I happy? Of course. Was she happy? She was elated that she could do this. So again, these emotions not only impact us physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. They can impact our relationships. They can impact our health. They can impact our ability to earn money. But right now we're focusing on COVID-19. Any thoughts, feelings, or emotions that you may have around this that you would like us to delete for you, all we need is 3 things. We just need the feeling or the emotion or thought that you're feeling, the severity on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 is very severe. And we need your permission to do the work. And then I will use the emotion code chart and the muscle testing to identify the emotion and use my magnet here with intention here on the central and release that emotion, delete it for you within minutes. So if you'd like to volunteer, just give us those criteria. And if you're just watching and just like to say hello, let us know where you're calling from. And I'm here in beautiful British Columbia, Canada here. So my name is John Schlapbach again. I'm a certified emotion code, body code practitioner. I'm also a wellness consultant for many years and an energy medicine specialist. And a few years back when I came across the Emotion Code book here by Dr. Bradley Nelson, I knew Dr. Nelson from a previous, we have been involved together in an energy medicine company for many years, but I knew of him before this. And someone had told me that he was coming out with a book. So once I heard of that, I got that book right away. And this is not the original version, by the way. This is the updated version. I got the book right away. I started to read it. And because I had been doing muscle testing since the 70s to do with nutritional supplements, the muscle testing wasn't an issue for me. I could do that. All I needed was this emotion code chart. And so whatever I was working on, whether it was something to do with my health or something to do with a situation or an incident that occurred, or something from the past, then I started working on myself right away before I even finished the book. And interesting enough, at the time I had a cat. My cat's name was Kahuna. For a lot of my patients, he was almost like an angel to them, like a healing kind of energy for them when they would come visit me. But I decided, hey, maybe I should try some of this on my cat. And I was able to connect to my cat energetically, and I was able to release a few emotions for him as well. And so this is not only used for adults and children, but you can also use this program for animals. And it makes me wonder, I'm wondering for you that have pets, because all of our pets feel all the same emotions we do. You know, the sadness, the happiness, the joy, the fear. They all have the same emotions we do. I've worked on horses, I've worked on cats and dogs and lovebirds and different animals as well. They have all the same emotions. So it got me thinking, I wonder, for any of you that have pets, you know how they pick up on our energies and our feelings. I'm wondering how many of you have pets that are actually being affected by COVID-19 as well. Maybe they're picking up or absorbing your emotions around that and feeling some of your emotions as well. And when you absorb an emotion from someone or something, that means you take on that emotion and it becomes part of you. I'll give you an example. I'm feeling really good. I go visit my friend Bob, and Bob is all depressed, and I leave an hour or so later and I'm feeling depressed. So at that point, I can consciously choose to hang on to that emotion of depression or let it go. If I choose to hang on to it, then it becomes part of me. So these are what we call absorbed emotions, or emotions that we pick up. So it makes me wonder, I wonder if even if our pets are maybe absorbing or picking up some emotions from me or from you or from us to do with COVID-19. Because I know we can also pick up on their emotions. It's like if for any of you that have children, you know when they're not feeling good. You know when they're sad. You can just sense it. You can feel it. Sometimes even when you're miles away from your kids, you know when things aren't quite right. There's that energetic connection. So sometimes you can even pick up on the emotions from your pets and take them on. So it makes me wonder, I wonder if our pets are also having some impact with this COVID-19. I wonder if it's affecting them or what they're feeling is affecting us. So maybe that would be a fun thing to do maybe on one of our calls here. So again, if you just joined me, we're doing these COVID-19 minute clinics on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for the month of May, 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 noon Eastern time. So we ask you to join us, and feel free to tag your friends with this as well. And also upcoming here, what we have upcoming here on Sunday the 10th, I am on a online Emotion Code Summit. I am doing a summit with Michael Losier, the author of The Law of Attraction. And there's 5 practitioners here or 5 practitioners right here. And you can tune in. It's a 5-hour event from 10 a.m. again Pacific time until 3 p.m. Pacific time. 5 different practitioners, and what we're focusing on is money and abundance. All the things that we need to release, identify and release around money and abundance. And each one of us are going to be focusing on a different part of it. My section I'm on at the 2 o'clock, I'll be focusing on what we call creative insecurity. Insecurity about being able maybe to create more money or more abundance in your life. So there'll be 5 different parts. So join us. Go to Michael Lossier Fan Club, Facebook, Michael Lossier Fan Club, if you'd like to join us on Sunday, this coming Sunday, for our Emotion Code Online Summit. There'll be another one coming up on the 24th of May. That's another Sunday, 10 a.m. again. And I believe that one is going to be on, I think it's to do with, it might be something to do with weight loss. I'll update you on that, but I know I'm doing something on water, the importance of water as well, being hydrated, and that's of interest to me because as a wellness consultant for many years, I consult in the area of sleep, better sleep, better nutrition, better water, better air, better overall health. So I have a special interest in water and how important it is for us to drink water, and lots and certain types of water. It's important to drink water when you're doing the work on people. It's important to drink water when you're having the work done. So I'm going to have a little sip here again. So you're welcome to join us on those online summits. You'll see some on my Facebook page here. You'll see some notices on that as well. So again, if you're just joining us, we're doing the COVID-19 Minute Clinic. I'll be doing our next clinic here this Friday at 9 a.m. looking for 2 volunteers that we can work on that are feeling any type of emotions, fear, anxiety, worry, depression around COVID-19, any negative emotions, any negative thoughts they may have around that, how it's impacting them personally. Maybe it's impacting their family, their friends, their relationships, their work. We'll be doing some free sessions for people, and that's coming up on this coming Friday, again, 9 a.m. And I'll be doing these COVID-19 clinics. I'll be doing them throughout the month of May. So Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays through the month of May. And stay tuned as well. I'll be doing some minute clinics on people on chronic pain. Those of you that may be dealing with chronic pain, we're going to delete it, lower it, diminish it, eliminate it within minutes. So that's an upcoming one we have coming there on chronic pain. And another one for this time of the year is seasonal allergies. I'll be doing one on seasonal allergies, and most people think seasonal allergies are due to pollen. Most of the time, they're due to these emotions. And I can help you eliminate these emotions. So we'll be doing that up on some of our upcoming minute clinics here, so stay tuned for that. And if you'd like to find out more, you can go to my website, visionshealing.com. Download a session menu, if you like, of all the different things that we've worked with people on over the years. You can hire me if you like to do some work. I do 30-minute sessions. So you can imagine what I can do in just a couple of minutes. If I can boost your immune system or get rid of some of your stress or negative emotions around COVID-19 within minutes, what can I do for you in a 25 to 30-minute session? Most of the time, when we look at these issues, I can usually do, on average, 2 or 3, sometimes more in one 30-minute session. So if I can take away your chronic pain and you're 10,000 miles away from me, which I've done, using the emotion code, you might want to stay tuned and be part of that one as well. So I want to thank you for joining us here today. I'm going to say goodbye to everyone, and come join us again this Friday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. And we will talk to you soon. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.